Hey everybody, welcome to Always Bored, Never Boring, and a brand new episode of Stick to the Script, a series in which I review games based on scripts, what I wrote using my words. I hope you enjoy the video and consider liking and subscribing at the end. Anybody who follows my channel knows that I enjoy thematic games, usually ones involving miniatures and gobs of dice rolling. However, I actually enjoy most types of games, except trivia games, and party games that involve hopping on one leg or singing pop songs. Or charades. Anyway, I do enjoy most types of games, from crunchy fantasy games such as Mage Knight through to accessible family fare such as Disney Villainous or Jurassic Park Danger. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the fillers in my collection. In fact, it's a game so slight even the term filler is a little on the generous side. I mean, you can probably get away with calling it a filler if you like butter sandwiches. The game in question is Candy Chaser from Iello's range of mini-games, which also features the fantastic Welcome to the Dungeon. And it's not a great game. It's not even really a good game. But it is one of those games that does one thing, and one thing only, making it incredibly easy to learn and very quick to play. In this case, the thing it does is bluffing and social deduction. Figuring out what your opponents are doing is the only element of gameplay, and everything in the box is just there to facilitate a situation where you accuse your friends of being no good candy smugglers. Previously on my YouTube channel, I've covered the game Biblios, which is a firm favourite. It's a set collection game integrating elements of bluffing, deduction, card drafting, and auctions. At the heart of the game is the concept that the points that sets are worth is open knowledge and subject to change. You have 5 coloured dice representing the points of the 5 coloured sets, and through the course of the game players have options to adjust the values of those dice. Over time, by studying how players manipulate the dice, it's possible to determine which sets they are collecting, which helps to inform how you should build your own sets, and also how you should adjust the dice when you have an opportunity to do so. Candy Chaser is Biblios if you were to strip away everything except that central dice mechanism. The result is a game that plays in a fraction of the time, but generates a fraction of the entertainment. The concept is as streamlined as you can get. There are 5 types of candy, represented by 5 coloured cubes on a small board. Each candy starts with a value of 0. Up to 4 players are then secretly dealt an objective card depicting one of the 5 candy types, and they're also given a hand of 5 cards showing each of the 5 candies for accusing players later on. Players then take turns rolling a dice. The dice shows positive numbers and negative numbers. Players select one cube on the board and move it forwards or backwards the number of spaces indicated by the dice roll. This continues until one candy reaches the G-spot. No sniggering at the back of the class. The only real rule is that no candy is allowed to reach the G-spot until at least one other candy has a value of 3 or more. Once that's out of the way, players have a chance to make accusations in the Tattletale round. Starting with the player to the left of the player who moved the candy to the G-spot, and seriously, stop sniggering, players have the chance to select a card from their hand of 5 and secretly pass it to another player. If the card shows the type of candy that player was dealt as an objective, that player is out. If it doesn't, the accuser is out. Regardless, the cards aren't shown to any other players. If the accuser was correct, they have a chance to make another accusation, or they can pass. Once everybody has made accusations or passed, any players left in the game reveal their objective cards. The person whose candy was farthest up the board wins the round. And that's that. There's nothing more to it than that. That's all she wrote, and that's pretty much all I wrote. This really isn't a game that lends itself to deep analysis. It barely qualifies as a game. It's an activity followed by a series of accusations, where a round may take seconds, or it could go on for 5 or 10 minutes depending on dice rolls. And yeah, it's a bit of an odd duck. You don't really play the game, you play your friends. The rolling the dice bit could be anything. It's just something that happens to provide clues to work from for the accusation part. It's utterly mundane without challenge or incident. But I do wonder if that's almost the point. As you're rolling, it's actually quite easy to lose focus and stop paying attention, and a single momentary slip in concentration is all it takes for the game to slip through your fingers. If you really watch what's happening, you can start to see patterns and get a rough idea of who is scoring which colour. But it's all whizzing by so fast. Sometimes it seems impossible to get a bead on your opponents. As it's from Iello, the presentation is lovely for such a small game. The artwork by Lorraine Barrios is a highlight. There's an effort to apply a theme of toddlers smuggling candy, so you get artwork of a usual suspect style lineup of underage ne'er-do-wells in gangster attire, plus images of their ill-gotten gains. And the cubes are suitably tactile and fun to move. It's all very nice, but there really is only so much you can do with 25 cards, a dice, a board, and 5 coloured cubes. Overall, as a game, it's about as compact and focused as it's possible to be. It zeroes in on that single concept. It makes it a game you can play with non-gamers, families, and children. It's a game you can teach in minutes. But unfortunately, you probably won't want to play for much longer than that. It is, of course, only a filler. But it's so lightweight, it almost fails at that simple yet noble goal. I think of a filler as something that plays in about 15 to 30 minutes, providing a condensed yet satisfying experience, without a lot of setup, teardown and rules reading. Something to slot into a games evening around the meatier, crunchier dishes. But Candy Chaser struggles to maintain interest even for long enough to fill the briefest gaps in the gaming schedule. Earlier on, I suggested the game was like a butter sandwich. Perhaps that isn't accurate. This game is more of a sherbet dip-dab. It's fizzy and sugary, and looks fun, and while there's certainly something in the package, it's really not enough to sate your appetite.